Hello, I'm Kent Gibson with Amtech's Technology Division. Today we're going to talk about the basic hand tools that we use in our division, our industry. We use these tools every day. Some power tools are used as needed. So today we're going to talk about all the individual tools. Some of those you might have seen, some of them you have not, but we're going to go through all of them, kind of explain what it is we use them for, how we use them, because some tools are very specific on what we do. So most of the hand tools that you do see here, you can purchase from any of your big box stores, your Lowe's, your Home Depots, that type of thing. So with Amtech, we have 3 levels plus superintendents of our techs. We have a Tech 1, Tech 2, Tech 3/superintendent. So with each level, that tech is responsible for their own basic hand tools. So you start off with a small group of hand tools you're responsible for, and as you progress to Tech 2, Tech 3, well, you're responsible to add more. This is a profession, so we want people that want to come here, be professionals, take care of their tools, because tools are not cheap by any means, but the power tools Amtech provides, and a lot of our techs, they'll end up buying their own power tools as they progress into the thing and want their own equipment. So what we're going to do is we're going to go through each one from each level. I'll explain to you what they are, how we're going to use them. So we'll start with Tech 1 snip tools. So this is a snip tool. Now it's basically a pair of scissors, but it's not the same kind of scissors you have at home. These are heavy duty. They're made to cut metal, and they have notches on the end that if you have to strip the cable we have for troubleshooting purposes or whatever, that's on there as well. Now these here, because I said they're heavy duty, they're made to cut. This is our Ethernet cable. This is what we run every day. These snips are made to cut this cable. This is a ground wire. It's a number 6 stranded. These are not made to cut this, not made to cut a larger wire. So with the snips, this is hook and loop. A lot of people call it Velcro, but Velcro is a proprietary name, but it's basically called hook and loop. We use this a lot. These snips, we use that for cutting these pieces because we use this for cable management. Now with the snips, there's another pair of cutters that we use a lot. These are called flush cuts. We get these from a manufacturer. These are designed to cut our cables flush with whatever it is we're doing. So this right here is part of a jack that we have started. So if you use these snips, you can only get so close. So you can see there's a little bit there sticking out. If we use the flush cuts, we can get right up there to it, and it's cut flush. So that is the reason we use these. And this is the only time we use these is when we're cutting something like this, that we need to have a flush cut that needs to be smooth. Screwdrivers. The best thing to get out there nowadays is a 10-to-1, 11-to-1 screwdriver that you can buy. You get different tips with them. Different size Phillips, different size slotted, very versatile. When I started several decades ago, these weren't even around. You had to buy individual screwdrivers, different sizes. Again, these are very handy. You can get 10-to-1. That's on our list. You can get a 5-to-1, which is probably the most common with the tips. This comes with other tips that you may use sometimes, sometimes not. Here's a pair of 9-inch cutters, also called electrical alignments. Now, these are a pair that I had back when I was in high school and vocational school doing industrial electricity. That's how old these are. These are designed to cut the bigger wire, where your snips are not designed to cut this larger cable. But that's what these are. These are designed to cut. You put it on there, you got a lot of leverage, cuts it right off. These are side cutters, also called dikes, and these are used to also cut the cable. Measuring tape. You're definitely going to have a measuring tape, and you've got to be able to read a measuring tape. These are not universal. I mean, you'll have the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, so on. But some of these actually have extra markings on here to help you read. It'll have 1/8, 3/8, 3/4, whatever helps you be able to read the measuring tape, because you've got to be able to read the measuring tape. We use these every day when we're placing racks, we're placing faceplates on the wall. Those have to be certain distances. You want, if you're putting multiple racks in a row, well, you want them all to be lined up the same. So very important, and I would suggest getting at least a minimum 25 foot. Hammers. You know, there's different kind of hammers out there. We use hammers. Not so much, but we do use them. You got your claw hammer. You have a plastic rubber hammer used for different things. Your rubber hammers, when you're having to use it, you don't want to damage whatever you're hitting. It's good to have both of these. So I got 4 different strippers here. These strippers here, you can buy at the Lowe's, Home Depot. Some of you may use them when you're cutting wires at home or whatever, and you're stripping and you're terminating and things of this nature. You can do different size cables in there, strip the jacket right off. That's what these are designed for. We don't use this that much for what we do every day, but there are times. But what we do use are these. Now these are strippers that I've had these for quite a while. You can find something like this at Lowe's or at Home Depot, possibly, not exactly. But what we do is we just ring it around our sheath, takes the sheath off so we can get to our pairs of cable without cutting into the pairs, nicking the copper. And you can do, and if you look here close, then you can see that they're set up for different size wire. Because depending on the category of wire we have, could be smaller, could be thicker. Another stripper here that comes from a manufacturer that we lead off with, you can set it, has a dial on it based on what it is you're using, the cable. You put it on there and it does the same thing. You just put it on there and it goes around like that, and it does the same thing. Cuts that sheath off without tearing the cutting in there. Now here's something we don't use very often, but we used to see a lot of coax. You know, your cable TV. A lot of things were analog, so they used coax. We don't see coax very much anymore, but it's still out there. There's still a lot of legacy cabling out there, but that's what this is. If you've ever terminated coax, you know that there's the outside sheath, there's a braiding inside. There's about 3 different things you have to cut. And if you set this up correctly, you put it on there and you spin it just like I just showed you. It cuts all of them at the correct depth all at one time. Time saver. Instead of trying to cut the black jacket off and then the next one without cutting, because you got to keep the braid, because you got to have a ground. You don't want to cut off the copper center point. So you set this up and you can cut them all off at one time, take it right off, and you're ready to go.